Are you a business owner and you're looking for a way to implement meeting note summaries for team meetings, for meetings with your employees or meetings with clients or prospects? Well, I have a solution for you that you can consider, whether that is Google Suite with Gmail or whether that's Outlook or any other mail platform. You can utilize that with a tool from the Google Suite that's called ANTIGRAVITY. Let us go and take a look at that. Now, ANTIGRAVITY is what's called an integrated development environment, an IDE. And as you can see here, there is on the right hand side, on the left hand side, there are Python scripts and there are markdown files. The markdown files, as we see them here, they stand for the instructions, the directives. And then we have the Python scripts which perform functions like calling the calendar. So with that, let us go take a look at that now. Now, I will copy a meeting transcript, and in order to save editing efforts, I will just copy the transcript right now in order to redact the names, and then we go back into ANTIGRAVITY and we copy that here, as you can see, and we say, please utilize that transcript and create me the meeting summary from the Python scripts like we always use, from the meeting templates that we always use, and draft in an email to that person. I will give you the email and I will give you the transcript. I'll paste it in right now. Now, as I said, in order to save myself editing effort, do not blur that out. I'm gonna paste in right now the transcript, as well as I'm going into my calendar and retrieve the email. And I've realized that this is currently faster and easier than actually letting it retrieve the email automatically from my calendar, and so it's a work in progress. So anyways, here as we go back, you see that it is John C, right? The name is redacted, and I have placed his email on top here, and now it's running the agentic workflow. I hope nothing is getting exposed here. And so yeah, it's basically now asking me whether it should go ahead with that. It's generating, as you can see, it's thinking. And yeah, as I said, as we go ahead here, ANTIGRAVITY is a way to build the workflows that you otherwise were not able to build, like in make.com and in NNN, much easier than before, particularly for the tools in the Google Suite. Whether we're talking about Gmail, whether we're talking about Google Calendar, whether we're talking about Google Docs, Google Sheets, making a summary from a template, as you're going to be able to see. What I've done here is it will create a document from a template that has a branded header and a branded footer. Because I run a coaching business, I am known as a coach for AI agencies in that space. And so after every meeting, in order to enhance the perceived value and the actual value by having something that we can reference at the beginning of each new call of what we spoke about last time, I like to send a meeting note. Now, obviously you likely don't run a coaching business, but you likely coach or train or hold accountable your employees, your staff, don't you? And so wouldn't it make sense whenever you have a meeting with a team alignment meeting to send them a meeting summary like that, on brand, not just, and so you may ask, what can that do that a meeting note taker wouldn't do? Now, I use Fathom, you may use Firefly or any of the other meeting note takers, ClickUp, Notion, they all have their own note takers right now. You may ask, why wouldn't I utilize their automatic summary feature? You could, for sure, but it will take people as serious as if they would get a Google document or even a PDF. You can render a PDF from that as well. I've just found that if I append a PDF to an email, a lot of people don't want to open that because it can be full of viruses, whereas if you send a Google Doc, it's not going to be infected. So, as you can see, we are now back here in ANTIGRAVITY. Can you see it made the implementation plan? And yes, so we're gonna go back here and actually redact the names again. Man, is that a hassle on YouTube to redact the names here for personal privacy protection. But hey, I love John and John loves me back, and I will ask for apologies in case something got missed. But anyways, he's a great person. Man, what am I saying? So I will now, yeah, what will I do here? comment on this one. Redact the email. Add the comment. Good. Execute. Redact the email. Now let's see what it does. And so that's the point of all of that. You can easily modify the approach you can update the approach. Anyways, I'm not gonna go into all of that. Anyways, okay, so I'm just gonna go and tell it now. Okay, stop everything that you're doing, just generate the meeting note summary and draft the email, please, the provided email. So anyways, you get the point here. I don't need to over explain this here. What it did was it now made an action plan. I just didn't show you that because, as I said, they're redacted. So it makes the summary now and sends and drafts the email to the person. Now, what have we accomplished here? Okay, look. Now, as I'm now going into a different file here, just so that we can see that again. Okay, great, good, yes, fantastic. Look, take a look at that. Now, it asks me whether it wants to execute that Google Docs summary, and we say, yes, please execute that. And now it should get back to us and give us out the summary with Mr. John C. And draft the email automatically. Now, why is that significant, you may ask? Here's my question to you. Have you ever tried doing something like that with make.com and NNN, and then have you been successful? I would be very curious to hear that, because I've been trying that same workflow with NNN, and there's so much custom logic that we need to build in. You would need to modify the nodes, and that is the great opportunity in these times here in 2026. If you are a business owner and you've been paying attention to the development of this industry for the last 2 years, but you haven't really taken action on that, but you understand that you may have played around with make.com and NNN, Lindy, other automation platforms, Abacus, GenSpark, Manus, whatever you may have used, and you realize I haven't really fully implemented AI. I've tinkered with it, but are you a business owner or are you a tinkerer, right? Now we really want to make it real and actually put it into place in the same way as, you can think about business, or you can actually have a product and make money with it and have employees and etc. Probably the level where you already have leveled up to. We want to do the same with an AI. We want to stop tinkering, stop thinking about it, and actually doing repeat processes. Now, let us go back here. Let us take a look. It asks us whether we want to execute that, and that is exactly the type of tutorial that I want to convey to you here. It is that within Anti-Gravity, we have now the option to build these workflows in a way where we can just interact with it, interact with it through natural language. Now, I don't know about you, but likely since you're watching this video and you feel attracted to my type of content and the style in which I, convey these lessons here, that you may have an inclination towards being verbal and maybe not so technical. And so I like to talk more than I like to do error handling. Now, the beautiful thing about that is now I can do error handling in the way that I really would want to, meaning with natural language. That feels much more meaningful to me because the way that I handle the error in this process is by explaining that. Now, what this does is, as we redacted right now, okay, so it's the request now and it made the summary. Good. So we're gonna scroll down here to another one. And it shows the email. We're going to fix all of that. But hey, we will. As we keep going forward with that, we will continue. And we will just make it better, the entire process. Are you excited or are we not? Yes, we are. So, as I'm now opening the Google Docs summary, summertime is only another 6 months away. The summary. Anyways, you can basically optimize these processes that you have many times. And so I would ask in the way of like with natural language, by just explaining it over and over again. And that also leads you into this beautiful inner process of figuring out, okay, what do we actually do? Like, what does our business actually consist of? What are the processes that we actually have in our business and that are essential to us, right? And then you also realize that, we do a lot of different things that if all of these processes I would need to explain I would need to do a lot of explaining. And then you're like, okay, yeah, how can we clarify? How can we consolidate? Because whether you hire human staff or an AI agent, or you build your own AI agents, it makes sense to really document your processes. That's the next level. In the same way as you can be casual with your finances and things go out of your credit card and you don't really know what's happening and why, and you kind of, that's not a professional way to be. In the same way as when you're just working the business every day and you're just kind of, winging it, working hard and going to the business and just doing what needs to be happening, which is honorable, which is okay. But there's a more strategic, a more 2026 way of going about it, which is actually getting clear about the processes. So obviously none of that comes from a place of, me knowing what you don't know. That's the point here. I'm just conveying what's possible currently, and you know very well what's possible in your business and what you currently do. Is this meeting a summary now opening here, or is it not? My goodness. Yes, it is. Here we are. So you know what is happening in your business. And it's time to bring that to paper, and now you don't need to journal about this anymore. Okay, fantastic. Now, it made the meeting summary. Bear with me for just 1 second as we go. How are the great presenters on TV doing that, man? How was this wildlife photographer, David Attenborough, how was he doing that? Anyways, so now we go back to that. Here, let's take a look. Meeting summary with John. It's redacted. Okay. Anyways, it's not. Finally. But hey, we have John's action items. We have my custom header. And then we have the key discussion points, the epiphanian, and then my custom footer. Isn't that beautiful? Now, what we also have is, we have an email drafted where I probably can only show you the drafts here. And it is here. The draft is here. Now, I'm not going to reveal the email right now. You're getting the idea. Anyways, so what have we learned today? If you are a business owner and you want to write these meeting summaries, all that I've done is I've set it up in the Cloud Console. And so if you are watching this video and you're wondering, how am I doing that? I am very happy to make a Loom video and pin that in the comment, or even like another YouTube video that would even be more intelligent, I guess, to explain to you how that's done. If you are seeking to integrate your Google Calendar or your Google Docs, how to set up a Google Doc like that, so talk to me, right? If you want to see anything else, fortunately the channel is still small enough that you can actually talk to me and that I can see every comment and read every comment. So with that, happy automating. I wish you a beautiful day and a strong start to 2026. Blessings to you, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.